Hello everybody, welcome back to Sector 1. We are here once again to continue our pre-season antics. My name is Lenosis, and joining me in the commentary box tonight is your race director, Carbon Boy. How are we doing tonight, Carbon Boy?
Good evening, Lenosis, and everybody watching at home. I am doing fantastic. How goes yourself?
Yeah, I am absolutely... I'm so excited for tonight. I mean, we're coming back to a Sector 1 classic track. We have a good mix of current drivers and debuting drivers to the series. So it should be a nice event this evening. So we'll just have a look at our track map for tonight. We are, of course, racing at Sardegna Road Course A. And it is going to be a 10-minute qualifying followed by a 25-lap race. 2 times fuel tyre usage, 3 times fuel usage, 6 litre per second refuel rate on the racing soft tyres, of course. We are doing the layout A, which means it's 15 turns across 5.113 kilometres. Last time we raced at this circuit was back in season 6, I believe. It was the season 6 finale in the S1 Supercars, which that was a great event back when we had it. So definitely a bit different now, returning to the circuit once again. Of course, we will be coming back here later on in the season, which, speaking of, let's have a quick look at our calendar for the upcoming season. This is what it's supposed to be looking like. So we will be back here. We'll be back here. Yeah, we will be back here on the 4th of May for round 5. But of course, it will be the C layout. Round 1 will be MAGGIORE East for the Mega Sprint. Then we'll be jumping across to Laguna Seca, followed by Brands Hatch, Nürburgring for our Enduro, Sardegna Road Course C for our Sprint. Blue Moon Bay will be next on the calendar. Alsace for round 7 for a short Enduro. Then we go to Deep Forest for the season finale. So looking to be a pretty good calendar and mix of tracks there, isn't it, Carbon Boy?
It is indeed. I'm looking forward to some of the rounds, and some of the rounds, and not looking forward to them as much. Just a personal dislike with some of the tracks that are on the calendar this season, but never mind. I shall put that aside and put my head down and get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about to go qualifying in a moment's time. But before we do that, we'll just have a quick look at the teams that have been announced since last time out. We do have 14 team lineups for Season 10, and this is what they are: APR Motorsport, Black Rose Racing, Blacklight Motorsport, Brocchio 5 Sim Racing, CP Motorsports, Kraken Esports, Datsun Racing, Doghouse Motorsport, Hooncorp Esports, Ironheart Sim Sports, Lightning Motorsport, Switchblade Sim Sports, Symmetry Motorsport, and Thunder Motorsport. Most notable, of course, being the 2 new teams to the roster in Ironheart Sim Sport and Thunder Motorsport. I mean, we have some great people behind those teams, so hopefully good things can come from those new entrants early on. So, I think the next question, of course, is what colour have you painted the big button tonight, Carbon Boy?
What colour would I have painted it?
I reckon you have gone down to Spotlight, grabbed some blue glitter, and you've painted it orange and sprinkled some blue glitter on top.
It's just straight blue glitter this evening. I like a little bit of sparkles going on tonight. So straight blue glitter. Let's punch the button and we will get qualifying underway.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing these guys going at it tonight. It's been quite good in our practice lobby in the test starts. We've seen some cracking times and some very, very considerate driving from the drivers. So looking forward to that translating into the racing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As the drivers make their way out onto the track, as the qualifying begins. As the first driver out on track, we're not going to get to see because the timing screen is always messed up at the start of the session. But it looks like it's going to be Boybagum. Yeah, as he makes his way out onto the circuit. Next up will be Greg's just behind, who returns to this track after last week as well. Young Wakey just behind him as well. So he didn't arrive last week, but he set an absolutely rapid time in the time trial at Maggie West. Good enough to put him P2 overall, just behind Geesh in that time trial. So young Wakey, he has something to prove this season. After a strong start to last season, taking the win at Trial Mountain in the BMW M3 Challenge, he never really returned to those heights all season long, struggled with a physics change, but this season he is going to go at it as hard as he can, putting in a lot of practice early on to show that he is one of the best we have here in Sector 1. Also one of the youngest. Just behind him we have Greg's, as you just saw he overtook him. The Tyre driver, we've just touched on him before. And just behind him we have the Sector 1 admin of Stickers, returning to the track once again. E-Bulk makes his return after last week. 5th place out on track at the moment. Tim Durags returns again after a great race last week. Sort of got out-strategied from the race, unfortunately, but he was fighting with the front guys for a good portion of that race at Maggie West. Rudzi makes his Sector 1 debut out on track in the pre-season. And he's got a very simple livery on that car tonight, doesn't he, Carbon Boy?
I'm a fan of simple. Just paint the car the colour you like, throw some wheels on it, slap a number board, call it done. Because,
absolutely,
let's face it, the livery doesn't make the car go any faster.
No, not one bit. Unless you use... well, I guess the argument can be made between using chrome as a colour. It weighs a bit more.
Well, that's true. That's true. We're not here to judge liveries tonight. We're here to judge driving ability and etiquette above all else.
Which, I mean, if we see the same that we saw last week, these guys, most of them had absolutely cracking battles. Of course, there were a couple of incidents, but that's bound to happen. But for the most part, these guys have gone 3-4 wide through some corners, which is absolutely spectacular to see. And I've only just recovered my voice for this stream, believe it or not. Just behind Rudzi on track is CP Water Arrow. Participated in a couple of community series events last season, and he's here in season 10 to try and make a bid for the main series. Dale Teeks, same book as Water Arrow, made a couple of appearances in the community series last season. Most notably, last round out. Oh, somebody spun. That does look like Stickers, I believe.
Yep, that's Stickers facing the wrong way, unfortunately.
So we'll catch that on the JSM action replay. See if we can see what happened here. No, we can't catch it on the replay, despite going all the way back. So we saw in the test starts that Stickers was having a bit of issue. And it looks like he's back up and running. Potentially some hardware fault there for Stickers, which isn't great to start things off. So first laps are coming in. Young Wakey has set a 49.5 first flyer, and he goes to the top of the times. Boybagum can only put it P2 at the moment. That's a brilliant lap from Boybagum. E-Bulk slots himself into 3rd place. That's a great showing once again. Mr. Saturday seems to be E-Bulk's vibe. He's brilliant at qualifying, always finds himself up the top, but sometimes leaving a little bit to be desired towards the end of the race. Dale goes P4 on the first time out.
Just
now here's
Dale.
a name. Yeah, just Dale.
Just Dale.
Grovel returns to the track after a pretty decent showing last time out at Maggie West. Found himself in a lot of no man's land, but some extraordinary consistency he showed. Didn't really get a good accurate picture of what his racecraft is like, as he was 13 seconds either side of him in that race, but yeah, 29s all round for the entire race. Was extraordinary consistency that we saw from Grovel there. Dragon Racer returns to the track after a bit of an absence from the earlier pre-season events. He participated in the Community Series last season, has raced in MagTech, the Motorsport Australia series we have run for the past few years, and he's making his bid for Season 10, finds himself out on the track for tonight's proceedings. And that's everybody we've got for tonight. That's all 12. No improvements up and down the board. Greg's pops himself P6.
Judging by Grovel's livery tonight, he will be doing it all for Wakanda. Going off the rather nice Black Panther-esque livery on that car tonight. As he comes across the line, puts in a personal best of a 51.228, but cannot improve on his current P7. He is only 300ths behind Greg's, who's sitting in P6 at the moment. Our like Aussie expat Tyre driver.
It looks like we have lost a driver as well. We've lost Water Arrow. So if he returns, we will have to reset the lobby, do a host set grid, as he won't be able to join the race, unfortunately, unless we do that. But he never really got going. I think he was P10, and then a couple of drivers improved since then. So disappointing that he couldn't get the whole 10 minutes out of the qualifying session.
It's alright, I'll keep my eyes open, and if he jumps back in, yes, we will do the whole manual grid set thing.
As it stands, Young Wakey still top of the times. Head off Boybegum there in P2. 3/10 between these guys. You know what? This is a great showing from Boybegum. He never really got the chance to step up to Div 1 last season with the sliding divs. It was his first season in Category 1, of course. But this season, already early on, goes within 3/10 of Young Wakey. That's a brilliant effort early on in this qualifying session. If you can be like that, 3/10 off Young Wakey.
Currently 3/10 ahead of Stickers as well in P3.
Which Stickers was no stranger to Div 1 last season either. Stickers constantly in the top division there. E-Bulk pits. Will he have time to go around again? I don't know. That's going to be a tight one for E-Bulk.
It's really, really close in the P3 to P5 scenario. You've got Stickers in P3, and a 10th behind is D-Tex, and then another 2/10 behind is Tim Durags, and half a 10th back to Greg's in P6.
Which, this is great from Greg's. He's finding himself up the order, which for most of last season in the Community Series, he sort of floundered around at the back of the pack, but put in a lot of practice at the start of this season and finds himself in a good position. And even last time out at Maggie, he put in a good qualifying and a pretty decent race showing too. So things on the up for Greg's potentially.
E-Bulk seems to have called it quits on qualifying. He's parked the car in the pits. I don't think he will be improving on his current P7, and he may actually lose out positions, depending if Grovel or Dragon Racer manage to bring in the goods on these last couple of laps.
Yeah, I saw a couple of angry mechanics down at the garage down there, the 619 car garage, and yeah, not many happy faces, unfortunately. So I think that'll be the end of E-Bulk's qualifying.
Yep, the white flag has been waved. Being a French car, it's something they're very familiar with.
So Wakey very far down on his time on that last time out. No improvements across the board. So that either means that the tyres aren't wearing enough to warrant a pit stop. Oh, we do see an improvement actually. Rudzi puts himself up into P9 with a 51.3.
Grovel not able to improve on his best time. Not that far off. He did a 150.979 as his best to get him into P8, and his lap just done then was a 151.009.
So some of these guys aren't going to get another lap here. So Rainbow Sox is going to take the flag. and a few others as well ahead of him. So Stickers has taken the flag, and E-Bulk's just pulled out of the pits. But most of these guys, they are done for the session, but we are with Wakey and Boybagum, who have been attached at the hip this entire qualifying session. Boybagum started out ahead, and then young Wakey was quick. No, Boybagum's back ahead of young Wakey, actually.
Yep, young Wakey is currently 2/10 purple. Oh, Boybagum's a little bit sketchy coming out of that left-hander across the hill where you can run wide into the dirt. It's always good fun. I'm sure the corner has a name. I have no idea what it is, and I'm just going to refer to it as that bugger of a left-hander.
The bugger.
Well, that's the harshest word I can say at this point in time. As Boybagum and young Wakey continue being joined at the hip, can young Wakey improve his time? He does by 3/10.
What a lap from young Wakey.
Drops a 149.265 to just say thank you very much. I am in pole by half a second.
Tim Durags improves as well. Not in position, but he does in his time. Dale improves. Not in his position. Same situation. Grovel does improve his position. He puts himself in P7. He takes the position from E-Bulk. And that is all she wrote for the qualifying session here tonight. So very, very interesting, that. So let's have a look at the qualifying results. This is how they shape up in a moment's time. So young Wakey takes pole position by 6/10 over Boybagum. Stickers there in 3rd. Dale in 4th. Tim Durags 5th. Greg 6th. Grovel in 7th. E-Bulk in 8th. Rudsy 9th. Dragon Racer 10th. Rainbow Sox 11th. And Water Arrow there in 12th. So even though he did disconnect, he would still have set the slowest time anyway. So he'll be starting from the back regardless. But yeah, definitely a little interesting. Do we have any sign of Water Arrow? Has he returned to the lobby, Carbon Boy, or?
He has not returned to the lobby, and I've just put out an announcement over the PA system down in the pits. So if he's down there with a broken car, hopefully he can at least get it fixed and or get back to me as to whether it's a yay or nay to his return to the grid tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Pardon me, everybody. I need to go grab my charger, as some of you eagle-eyed viewers notice on the screen that my controller has run out of battery. So
Right. That sounds a lot like a rookie error.
Yeah, my bad, everybody. Carbon Boy can keep you entertained for about the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, look, entertaining someone for about 10 seconds is about all I've got in me. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the YouTube chat, if you would like to throw your podium predictions in for us, I would be very, very keen to see who you think will finish on the podium tonight. Is young Wakey going to start from pole and skip away and completely take the victory, clean sweep it? Or is he going to be challenged by Stickers and Boybagum, possibly working together in a bit of a inter-team strategy kind of scenario? I mean, that's what I would like to happen, but you know, it usually ends up being a case of every driver in for themselves, you know, with a reasonable amount of, how am I going to put this? Reasonable amount of getting the elbows out. We don't mind it, but, you know, got to be a little bit gentlemanly. And if Lenosis could hurry up and grab his charger, because I'm really running I am really running out of things to say. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Just want to take the moment to say hello and thank you for showing up, everybody, in the chat this evening. We see Robert Rice, Debrev, Ghost, Jim Bob's in the chat, Mr. Bumcrack, Tombo, the banker. Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's nice to see you all in chat. If you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button. Really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. So thanks for coming out, everybody, and supporting the stream in the Season 10 pre-season. Now, we have 11 very eager drivers waiting on the grid at the moment. So what do you say you whack that sparkly blue button sitting on your desk and get the 25-lap final underway tonight?
More than happy to punch the sparkly blue button. Right, yeah, we've just begun the countdown now. Has anyone fired into the YouTube chat with a prediction?
Nobody as of yet.
Oh, come on, people.
Well, Bumcrack says
Young
Wakey for the whole race, but I think that's more of a foresight than a prediction. As the light sequence begins, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. They're waiting on the grid. Red's rising, and we're out and racing here at Sardinia. As the drivers barrel down towards the first turn, young Wakey gets a brilliant start. So does Stick as he follows the young bloke down towards the first turn. Boybagum not giving up just yet, though. Into the first turn now. Is there any chaos? Looks like everybody very sensible. On the exit now. Oops, somebody getting shuffled wide. I'm not too sure who that was. It was a black car in the background.
That is Rudzy just being escorted slightly onto the dirt. Nothing malicious in it.
Oh, as Stickers throws it down the inside of Boybagum. That's a great move from Stickers. Very opportunistic. Had the run on Boybagum and knew that he could sweep it around the outside. There's somebody running wide in the background there. Not too sure who that is. It's somebody in a yellow car.
Dragon Racer just had a bit of a moment on that right-hander leading towards the cathedral. Got a bit crossed up.
And look at this. Young Wakey has already put a 1.5 seconds on the field. Absolutely extraordinary early race pace from young Wakey. Into the braking zone of the hairpin now. Do we see any moves? Yes, we do. Very late moves from everyone. Oh, they're getting checked up a little bit. Huge contact, and there's 3 cars gone. That might be a red flag. There's 3 cars, or 4 cars that have been absolutely murdered there at the end there. That's all gone wrong there. That might be 2 separate incidents, perhaps, I think.
Yeah, that was fairly messy there, gentlemen. I'm going to call the red flag on that one. There was just a massive concertina effect. We will be calling that one.
So, a red flag due to chaos at the hairpin.
Yes, there is a lot of chaos. So, we can just get everyone to actually exit the track. There we go. People have just wanted to finish their laps, I presume. Just waiting on Rudzy to exit the track, if he would be so kind.
Just waiting on one driver now.
Yep, there we go. Okay. Now I get the fun job of having to manually set the grid, so I think it's your turn to talk some dribble.
Yeah, I think so. So while we've got the chance, let's just recap on the season calendar. We'll go in a bit more depth in it and explain how things will be working. There's a couple of rounds here which are a bit tricky and something new that we've never done before. So starting off the season, we are going to be back at Autodromo Lago Maggiore for the East course, but it's going to be the Mega Sprint. So for those of you who are new with this or don't remember from last season, the Mega Sprint is, we get all 4 divisions to race on the one night. It's not a full race length, it's 25 minutes. So it's about, a bit over, or a bit under 2/3 race length to what we normally run. And these guys, I mean, last time we had it at Road Atlanta and it was just a brilliant event. Very, very hard behind the scenes, but everybody worked well and we got everything up and running. And I think the drivers just absolutely loved it. It's just awesome to just see everybody out on track at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but on the same night. So we're kicking things off with an absolute bang with the Mega Sprint, of course. Then we have Laguna Seca, which is just a standard 45-minute race, what we normally run. And then round 3, Brands Hatch, is something completely new that we have never done before. It's going to be a one-shot qualifying, and we're going to be using 2 layouts in a Sector 1 race. So we will be having a 10-minute Indy Circuit sprint after the one-shot qualifying. It'll be sort of a qualifying race on the Indy Circuit before we jump into a full-length feature race, which will be 45 minutes as per normal. But that will be on the Grand Prix circuit, so the full 11 corners of Brands Hatch. Actually, I think there's a bit more than 11 corners, but however many corners are on the full GP circuit, I'm sure Sean's in chat, he can tell us how many corners there are at Brands Hatch. But then up next we have Nürburgring. It will be an endurance race, 2 hours, and like we did last season, we will have it spread across a month's length, which won't be as bad as it was last season because we're not planning a season break this season, as the break that you get from the endurance race being spread over a month will be the break that you get. And then straight into it, we'll be back with Sardegna Road Course once again, back here in Italy for the sprint round. And we are doing something different with the sprint round once again. There'll be 2 20-minute sprints, but the first race will be in the forward direction, and the second race will be in the reverse layout. So this is something we've never done before here at Sector 1, so watch out for that as well. Should be a spectacular night of racing on the short C layout. Blue Moon Bay is the next race. We haven't been there since Season 5, all the way back on GT Sport. It will just be a standard 45-minute race before we head into Alsace, which is another one of our special events here tonight. This season, I should say. It will be another one-shot qualifying, just like Brands Hatch, but this time it'll be a 1-hour mini enduro. So it'll be a bit longer than our standard races, but just long enough to keep the drivers entertained and on their toes, bring a lot of strategy into things. After the Alsace short enduros, we will be running straight to Switzerland for where motorsport is banned, actually, to Deep Forest. 45 minutes, another standard race to finish off the season, and that is our season for Season 10.
And
8
that
races
is some excellent timing on your behalf, as the grid is now set manually, and we are good to go for take 2.
That is music to my ears. Thank you, Carbon Boy. Let's get started for attempt number 2 of Sardinia, a pre-season race.
Yeah, that was a nasty concertina effect in the heavy braking zone at the end of the back straight. And it checked up quite a few guys, and it unfortunately ended up with 3-4 cars facing the wrong direction, which is certainly suboptimal. So hopefully we can avoid that this time around.
Light sequence has begun. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are out and racing here for the second time in Sardinia. Young Wakey gets off to another good start, but Boybagum gets the better of Stickers this time, immediately comes across to cover. We have Dale around the outside of Tim Durags. As they approach the first turn, do they keep it clean once again? Under brakes. Looks like everybody's kept it pretty nice and calm. Much better start that time. As everybody makes their way down towards the end of this first sector. We saw a move from Stickers on Boybagum, but he's not going to get the liberty of that opportunity this time. Into turn 5 now. Tricky corner to get right. You have to wait to get on the throttle. Oh, there's a few running wide. As they head down towards the Cathedral.
Someone to watch in this car is E-Bulk. He's made his way up to P6 after an absolute rocket of a start, which he basically just did a replica of the previous race. He got the thing off the line like a scalded cat, and I think he started P9 from off the top of my head.
Somewhere down there.
Oh no, only P8, but he's made up 2 positions inside of 2 sectors.
Oh, we see a move. Stickers under pressure from Tim Durags, and Tim Durags has to wait another moment as Stickers goes defensive. That's a much better hairpin this time. And now the bugger corner coming up. like everybody's navigated that fairly fine on this occasion. The first of 25 here at Sardegna.
Looks like there is a little bit of a laggy situation going on, but nothing catastrophic just yet. A little bit of a gap between the top 5 and starting to form up. And then P6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are sort of in their own little battle group.
So
as
Slappers
Rudzy sends it down the inside of Dragon Racer into turn 1, coming side by side through the turns 2 and 3.
This is a
It's
brilliant
going to be a
racing.
case of who yields and who's got the biggest set coming into this braking zone.
Oh, around the outside. Is that going to work? It looks like it is. Oh, look at that,
He's
Dragon
made it
Racer.
work.
Because the outside becomes the inside through there, and he gets it done. Oh, he's going to try around the outside of the church as well. Oh, oh, he runs out of road though. Oh, somebody grazes the wall. That looked like rainbow socks in the background. Things are shaping up as they head down towards the hairpin. Do we see a move from Dragon Racer on Rudzy? We see 3 new blokes on the block joining the party here. Rudzy, Dragon Racer, and oh, somebody's gone. Is that Rainbow Socks? It is. Oh, that's all gone wrong for Dragon Racer. Has Dale disconnected there?
It does look like there has been a disconnect from the DTEX.
So we'll have a look what happened with Rainbow Socks as he came into the hairpin. He ran wide. Oh, just a little bit eager on the throttle. Spins into the fence on that occasion. That's not gone well for him. Picks up a little damage on his front bumper as well. Continues on lap 2 as Young Wakey sets a 49.7 first flyer on the beginning of this race.
E-Bulk's made his way up to P5. Currently hunting down Tim Durags. Makes up 0.3 of a second just into the braking zone into turn 1. So the guy's an absolute monster under brakes by the looks of it.
Which, as I was saying before we got interrupted by the brilliant racing action between the new guys, Slappers weighs in chat and he says he's rooting for E-Bulk to make a charge up to the podium after last week, where Slappers gave E-Bulk a little bit of a touch while he was fighting for the lead and dropped him to the back of the pack. But these guys continuing on at the moment. E-Bulk, he's getting close to that podium already, sitting P5 at the moment. Not far to go. And he's really reeling in Tim Durags for P4.
And he's bringing Greg's along from P6 as well. He's sitting there in the slipstream of E-Bulk and just hanging in there and being brought up to Tim Durags. So if Tim's not careful, he could find himself under threat from not 1 but 2 drivers. And then back down in P7, P8, we've saw Dragon Racer meets the bugger corner. Oh, that's not gone well. Oh.
Well, I'll tell you who's made the most out of that situation. Grovel has made up a multitude of places there.
We probably got the camera on that at the wrong time, but what I can say is Dragon Racer did get a little bit crossed up on the exit of that corner, which kind of led to the whole chaos that unfolded in the following seconds. So there was no maliciousness in any of that. It was just there's a car doing fishtails in front of me and I can't do anything about it kind of situation for poor Grovel there. But
That's
as you said,
unfortunate.
Rudzy has definitely capitalised on that. He's gone from P9 to P7.
These guys still going at it though, Rudzy and Grovel, losing their fellow battler. These guys still going at it. P7 and 8, it's still on the cards for these guys.
Greggs has dropped a little bit off the back of E-Bulk to the tune of about 2 seconds, so he has lost that slipstream. E-Bulk is still within slipstream range of Tim Durags, who is just out of slipstream to Stickers in P3.
Rudzy and Grovel going at it. Grovel shows he knows down the inside of the hairpin, but Rudzy sweeps around the outside. Oh, a little bit of banging doors on the exit, but Grovel is going to slide on by into P7 ahead of Rudzy there. Brilliant move from Grovel to get himself up into P7. But I have a feeling that Rudzy isn't going to give up too easily or too... Oh, he's hit the wall! We've seen 2 out of this battle pack in 2 laps. And Grovel recovers nicely to get back on the track. We'll just have a look at that one, see what's happened there.
Yep, he's
right on
definitely
board with
done
him.
well. Definitely done well to only lose 2 to 3 seconds out of that incident.
Oh, as the car just understeered, he got it slowed down and turned in, and then it just didn't grip up for him, and he just went straight on. That's a very peculiar incident. Back on board with our race leader, Young Wakey. 5 seconds to the good at the moment over Boibagum, who has a very angry Stickers sitting behind him. Things are sort of spaced out with P2 down to P5, but they're starting to close up slowly. So we're 5 laps in. What do you say we jump into a Tyre and Fuel update, Carbon Boy?
I am all for that. It's been some time since I've done an APR Tyre and Fuel update, so I'm kind of excited. A little bit nervous. Alright, so sitting comfortably in the lead to the tune of 4.6 seconds, you've got Young Wakey. The left-hand side tyres are doing fantastic. They've probably only got 5% wear on them. And the right-hand side tyres are sitting on about 10%. He's probably got about a touch under 70% fuel in the tank, which is a little bit more use on the fuel usage. The tyres for Mr. Boibagum in P2 are pretty much identical, but he's doing maybe 5% better on the fuel usage situation. Back to Stickers, he has a fairly identical car to Young Wakey out in front, with about 10% on the right-hand side tyres. And he's used a couple of percent more fuel than Boibagum, but he is down to 7/10 in the slipstream and closing rather quickly. Tiderags P4, he's doing a little bit better on the fuel situation than Stickers and Boibagum in front of him. Fairly identical on the tyres, as Stickers was right on Boibagum's rear bumper there. So I better talk quick before we miss anything. So P5, you've got E-Bulk, is fairly identical on about 70% fuel, 10% wear on the tyres. Greggs is probably a couple of percent less on the fuel. Rudzy P7, pretty identical on the fuel. Grovel's probably down to about 65% fuel in the tank, fairly identical tyres to everyone else. Dragon Racer, while being identical on the tyres, is actually doing much better on the fuel. He's just below 3/4 of a tank. And then we've got Rainbow Socks, who's doing really well on the tyres. His right-hand side tyres are only about 5 to 7% worn, and he's also on about 70% fuel left in the tank.
Thank you, Carbon Boy, for the APR Automotive Tyre and Fuel update. With APR, you're in safe hands. Looking back up front, and Young Wakey edges more of a gap, 6.4 seconds at the moment. This is just great pace, and look at the consistency on the lad. 49.7, 49.3, 49.5, 49.5.
Stickers had a little tiny error on this halfway through this lap and got a bit crossed up on the exit. That's dropped him back off Boibagum. He's 1.4 behind now, where he was down to about 6/10. But he now has Tim Durags less than 2/10 off the back, and it looks like Tim's about to send it down the outside at turn 1. Or he may not need to, he's already made his way past.
Oh, they're still tight on entry, but Tim Durags chops off the nose and sweeps himself into the podium places. Brilliant stuff from Tim Durags to get himself up into P3. But Stickers won't let that die too easily.
E-Bulk's still there or thereabouts. He's only 1.6 seconds behind Stickers at this point in time.
Yeah,
He's
don't
managed
ride
to
off
keep
E-Bulk.
himself in touch.
And
Yep,
interesting enough,
spot.
Greggs is here as well. Greggs has been driving brilliantly this race. He's just holding that gap to E-Bulk at about 2.5 seconds. And I mean, somebody who throughout the community series was looking very much a Category 2 driver, is now looking like could even be looking at a Category 1 drive if he drives well enough.
I think Slapper's prediction is certainly still on the cards of him making his way up to the podiums tonight. He's within sight of P3, so and P2. It's certainly not off the cards just yet.
Absolutely. I mean, all it takes is someone to catch up a little bit, close up the gaps, and we'll have some extraordinary racing coming our way in a moment's time. So judging off the Tyre and Fuel that we relayed a moment earlier, what do you think in strategy-wise, Carbon Boy? What do you think most of these guys are going to opt for?
Well, we're just finishing lap 7 now. They're a little bit over half a tank of fuel. So if you're doing the math, there's 15 laps out of a tank of fuel. The tyres should last equally as long. So I dare say we're probably going to see a one-stop.
Now, you say that the tyres can last 15 laps, or fuel should last 15 laps. That means that's a huge pit window. That's a pit window of 10 laps.
I mean, if it was me, I would split it into a 12 and 13 kind of situation. But I don't know, if the guys are fairly confident in their tyres, they might be able to go 14, 15 laps and then have a really have a much shorter stint on the fresher tyres and a lower fuel load in the later part of the race. Hopefully be able to knock some time off that 49.296 fastest lap currently held by young Wacky.
I mean, the fact that tyres can they can either be going for 10 laps in this first stint all the way up to 15 laps, I think we're going to see a real variation in strategy that will really make that undercut powerful. I mean, most we've ever seen of an undercut, usually 2 or 3 laps, but the fact that that pit window is sort of open for 5 or 6 laps, that's big news for these guys. I mean, they're really going to have to think about when they make that stop. They're stuck in some traffic, maybe get some clean air by making that stop early, but use the undercut to their advantage, or do they just stay out and try and potentially overcut drivers?
Speaking of stuck in traffic, we've got Tim Durags within 6/10 of the back of Boy Bagum in P2 at the moment. He's certainly made inroads into, well, he's made his way onto the podium already, but I don't think he's happy with the bottom step of the podium. I think he wants to go another step higher.
And he
currently sets a PB lap of a 150. 150.038 for Tim Durags on that last one.
And used for E-Bulk.
He's actually been in the 150s for his last 6 laps, all within half a second of each other.
Which news for E-Bulk as well. 2 things to note. First of all, he is within slipstream range of Stickers, that gap currently at 0.8 of a second. And second of all, every single lap that he has set, barring the first lap, has been in the 150s. A 0.8, 0.5, 0.3, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 and a 0.5. What shocking consistency. Absolutely incredible from E-Bulk.
So E-Bulk and Tim Durags are tied for the Mr. Consistency Award.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
They've basically been running the same race, just a couple of 100 metres down the road from one another.
As E-Bulk is now onto the back bumper of Stickers, and Tim Durags is on the back bumper of Boy Bagum. So yeah, they are pretty much having the exact same race, just a couple of seconds apart.
Yeah. As once again, Greggs is just holding that gap. He's dropped back a touch, but still 3.2. This is a brilliant drive from Greggs. He's doing a spectacular job here. as we might see a move from Tim Durags now, as I don't think E-Bulk's close enough to Stickers on this occasion, but Tim Durags definitely close enough to Boy Begum. So they head down towards the first turn for the 10th time. Do we see a late lunge from Tim Durags? No, holds in behind Boy Begum. Ooh, looking left, looking right. Tim Durags looking for the good night. This is some great racecraft from Tim Durags, just slotting in behind Boy Begum as well. Not too eager to get the move done. I mean, young Wakey's 10.4 seconds down the road, so it's a long way to go ahead.
Yeah, I think Tim knows he's got plenty of time for an overtake. He's not in any rush. Knows he doesn't have to do anything too drastic to just send it down the inside. He could wait for his moment.
Will we see it at the hairpin? He's closer than he's ever been before. No, once again, just buying his time. I think his biggest concern is he doesn't want to drop back into the slipstream of Stickers. He wants to get this move done as cleanly as possible without losing as much time as possible.
And these two guys, Boy Begum and Tim Durags, are near on identical in terms of tyre wear and fuel usage. So maybe Tim Durags might want to just sit in the slipstream for a little bit, save some fuel, potentially.
Potentially. As E-Bulk, he's not really making any inroads to Stickers. He's actually losing anything if we have to put a name on it. But Tim Durags is very, very close to Boy Begum as he's 2/10 away. Will we see a move?
I did notice a little bit of short shifting. Tim Durags was in 6th gear very, very early down that main straight compared to Boy Begum. So maybe I'm onto something with the fuel save strategy.
Well, yeah, this car...
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, well, this car, it's very
debatable.
much a 5-speed. There's no real pace advantage to shifting up to 6th. It tends to bog down in that higher gear. So, potentially, yeah, you're right. With Tim Durags, just switching it up to 6th gear down that back straight, just saving that extra fuel and using the slipstream to not lose any time. Whereas young Wakey's going to be carving through all that air by himself and might be able to tell us, Carbon Boy, whether Wakey is using that 6th gear or not. And what that means when these guys get close to their first and potentially final pit stop of the race. E-Bulk making a few inroads on Stickers. 6/10's currently the gap.
I'll keep an eye on young Wacky using 6th gear as he comes onto the main straight right now. What I can tell you is he has used noticeably more fuel than Boy Begum and Tim Durags.
But is it 13 seconds of fuel?
No, it is not. But it's probably, I'd say, 35% left in the tank for young Wacky versus 45 for Boy Begum. So there's maybe 2 seconds. But no, young Wacky is definitely not using 6th gear. And there was a slight fuel deficit between Tim Durags and Boy Begum, where Tim Durags had slightly less fuel. He has now brought that back to pretty much even Stevens.
And what this does mean as well is these 4 cars as a whole are closing up as time goes on.
And Stickers has also closed back up to the tune of 1.3 seconds. And he has E-Bulk 4/10 off his rear bumper. So this is slowly becoming a 4-car battle again.
Well, you look at the last 5 laps of the race, and Stickers has really got a wriggle on. He dipped into the 51s on lap 6 and 7, but since then he's never looked back, and into the 50s on every single lap since. as now he's well and truly within slipstream range, as these 4 cars were 2 and 2, but now, if you squint a little, it is a battle pack of 4 cars.
Just to put it into perspective, young Wacky has been in the 49s for every lap except the opening lap.
Oh my goodness.
I may have just jinxed him. Nope. 49.837. He is still in the 49s.
Oh, he set the same lap twice. Talk about consistency.
Ah, yes. Lap 12 and 11. 49.837. I definitely did not jinx him. Boy Begum still holding on to his P2. 7/10 to Tim Durags. Near on 7/10 back to Stickers. And just dropped off a little bit to 9/10 to E-Bulk in P5, but he is still definitely within reach of the podium from here. It's only going to take one small mistake from the drivers in front of him, and he will be in the pole position to, well, clean up the mess, I guess.
Just giving a little bit of TV time to Rainbow Sox, as he's not had the best run tonight, unfortunately. Finds himself a minute down on P9, about to be overlapped by young Wakey. Finding himself in no man's land as well is Dragon Racer, who runs off the track. Oh dear, we've put the camera on him at the wrong time as well, which before that little mishap was showing quite good consistency as well. 51s on every lap except for his personal best, which was a 50.8. Just ahead of him we have Grovel, which is showing very consistent lap times once again, like we saw back at Maggiore. Rudzy just ahead of him.
Rainbow Sox has been doing quite well in terms of lap times. He was running fairly consistently in the 153s until about lap 7, where he's had a bit of a moment. That was not a great lap on his 7th lap, and might have just rattled him up a little bit. It took him a couple of laps, but he's back down into the 154s again, so he's found his rhythm again.
Which Rudzy out on track once again. He's showing this interesting pace where he's.
Well, there we go. We've got our first pit stop from Greg's
13.
P6. Comes into the pits with 23% fuel left in the tank, which is, I'd say, about on par with everybody else who's still out on track. Tim Durags still being the bumper sticker for Boy Bagum. But their fuel scenario is near on identical, and their tyres are pretty much identical. Stickers and E-Bulk still joined at the hip as well. Although E-Bulk does have a slight fuel advantage over Stickers, so he might... I don't know if he'll jump him in the pits, but he will more than likely, depending on how much they fill, might be able to get himself alongside coming out of the pits this time around. But we're on lap 14, so we are just past the halfway mark of the race.
We're just right on board with E-Bolt for a second. Nothing really to watch on the track at the moment. Would have thought there would have been some exciting racing somewhere on track, but most of these guys are opting for no fun. They're strategying this race. Which means, everybody's diving in. It's getting exciting.
Boy Bagum, Tim Durags, Stickers, E-Bulk, they're all in. Young Wacky is still going around again.
I had a slight feeling they were going to do that. One blinks and they all blink. Rudzy also peeling into the pits. Same fuel as E-Bulk. So, Boy Bagum and Tim Durags, Grovel, least amount of fuel of anyone at the moment. 16% left in the tank. Greggs will be the next to make this decision. Will he call it, or will he go around one more?
Young Wacky's fuel gauge says hello.
Greggs goes around again. Interesting call up as we see Dragon Racer once again finding a wall. At
By the
bugger
looks of
corner.
it, Greg's pitted earlier. He pitted lap 13, I believe.
Oh. Yes.
He's got
of
a
course.
fresh set of tyres on and just under 3/4 of a tank of fuel.
So
As young Wacky is just coming through the bastard corner.
So Stickers and E-Bolt, they're neck and neck still, but they've dropped off the back of Tim Durags and Boybagum at what's looking like 3 seconds at the moment. But Tim Durags and Boybagum still neck and neck.
Stickers and E-Bulk both have an identical amount of fuel, which is slightly more than Boybagum and Tim Durags, who also have an identical amount of fuel.
So Wakey's in the pits with the least fuel out of anybody in the entire race. But the pace that he showed in that first stint, I don't think is going to be an issue. I don't think it's a question whether he'll come out in the lead. I think it's a fact, unless he completely fills the car.
Lap 2 to lap 13, all of those laps were in the 149s. Lap 14 was a 150.1. Yes. Yes.
And he comes out of the pits well ahead of the drivers behind. Will be
Boybagum has just come around the right-hander onto the main straight.
When he crosses the line, that gap will be 15 seconds. So, staying out that extra lap, young Wakey's lost about 5 seconds when you take into account the extra fuel that he needed to put in the car to make it home. But he's still 14 seconds in the lead, so...
yeah, I don't think he's going to be too worried about it. But I reckon someone who will be very worried right now is Stickers in P4. He's got E-Bulk 3/10 off his rear bumper.
I beg to differ. Stickers, he's a very calm-headed driver and he does well under pressure. I think Stickers... He will have the heart rate pretty low and just plugging along. He knows that E-Bulk's a smart driver. He's not just going to throw a move down the inside at the first chance he gets. He knows that E-Bulks can try and work with him and hopefully push up to these guys ahead of Tim Durags and Boybagum.
Next minute, E-Bulk licks the stamp and sends it down the braking zone.
That's what it looks like it's doing. That looks like what he's doing. Oh, he shows the nose.
I think he's going to be a little bit sensible here. He's done well. He knows it's not the moment just yet. It'll come.
Same can be said for Boybagum and Tim Durags. 3 seconds ahead.
Yeah, Tim Durags certainly doesn't look to be in any hurry to overtake as Boybagum goes very defensive very early. But that does compromise his line for that corner, and Tim gets a very good exit. But does a little bit of short shifting and just sits in behind. Maybe Tim just wants to keep the pressure on Boybagum for a little bit longer.
Let's have a look.
There is definitely short shifting into 6 onto that main straight by both of them. Oh, Stickers and E-Bulk. E-Bulk sends it down the inside into turn 1.
We'll catch that on the JSM accounting action replay. Just lined him up. And textbook move. Keeps it in 5th. Bangs on the limiter. Throws it down the inside. Late under brakes. Holds Stickers on the outside and sweeps on by. That's a textbook move. Brilliant stuff from E-Bulk to get himself up into P4. You can see that gap growing ahead to Tim Durags, and he knows he needs to get a wriggle on. Catch up to Tim Durags and Boybagum. As we're getting rainbow socks with rainbow flags. I meant to say blue flags from the incoming leaders behind.
Rainbow blue with flag socks?
Yeah, something like that.
Stickers is doing well to hang in there with E-Bulk. He's not going to go away too quickly.
See, this is the sort of thing that we're expecting with this car, is that even once drivers get ahead, unless they have a massive pace differential, the slipstream of this car is enough to keep somebody within competitive pace. That's what I'm seeing at the moment between Stickers and E-Bulk. E-Bulk did get ahead of Stickers, but now Stickers is able to just tag on behind and hold on to that slipstream. As Boy Begum and Tim Durags. Come on, Tim Durags. We haven't got all day. We've only got 7 laps left. We want to see some racing action.
I want to see some overtakes, mate. Although they're coming up to lap traffic at the moment, so it may not be the best time. Whoop, as Rainbow Sox does go a little wide on the exit there, pulls over to the inside.
I heard that somebody hit the wall, but I didn't know who it was. Thought it might have been Stickers. Yeah. So that's very accommodating Blue Flags driving from Rainbow Sox. He knows he's in a bit of no man's land, and he just pulls over and lets those 4 through, which great sportsmanship from Rainbow Sox.
Now, one little detail that I don't think anyone's noticed about Rudsy's livery, while it does appear to be a plain black with a racing number livery, if you look very, very carefully on the driver's side door on the bottom side, you will actually see the letters ADD.
Yeah, I thought, I noticed that. You're just not very observant, Carbon Boy.
You didn't mention it.
I thought you mentioned it. Oh well.
Negative. But anyway, small details. But what I was getting at is I'm also quite the fan of the Bose/Worth sponsored livery of Greg's. The red, white and black, I'm just really digging how that car looks.
Yeah, it is quite a well-strung livery, that. I don't mind it. It reminds me a bit of the Ascension liveries of Season 8. Especially from the front of the car. That orange splitter, I think, is what does it for me.
Yeah, getting a little bit of Ascension vibes.
Well, we know that Ascension livery was based off I believe it was based off Formula 1 cars, the McLarens, wasn't it? Perhaps?
I would not be the person to ask on that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I'll say yes, but let's be honest, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Boy Begum, Tim Durags, side by side. Here we go. Finally, Tim Durags has decided to make a race of it.
I think it might be the fact that E-Bulk is within slipstream range now. As Tim Durags makes the move, he runs wide!
No.
He's off the track! Boy Begum goes back through, and so does E-Bulk! Does E-Bulk get him through? Oh, no he doesn't! But he's going to take 3rd place from Tim Durags. It's all going wrong. Tim Durags put it all on black, and it ended up rolling double zeros on the roulette wheel. And now Stickers is within it as well.
Oh, wow, that went from a little bit quiet to it just all kicked off.
Let's have a look on the JSM action replay. As, we missed it. Oh, no. That's very unfortunate.
Stickers with the slipstream just gave Tim Durags a little bit of a bump draft going along.
Now here is what we've been waiting for. It's all been brewing for the last 20 laps. But now is the time that we're going to see it all happen. It's all going.
Now, Slappers, if you're still in the chat, mate, your prediction of E-Bulk getting on the podium so far is looking like it's going to come true. Don't put the jinx on him, whatever you do.
Well, too late for that. You just put the jinx on him.
Well, you may as well just finish it off then and put the camera on him, because he's currently on P3, sitting right on the rear bumper of Boy Begum. And looking very, very racy right now.
What's
Will
the
we
fuel
see a
situation
move?
looking for these guys?
Ah, they're both comfortably still over a quarter of a tank.
Oh, ho, ho. Under brakes now.
Boy Bagum's going to be driving defensive, defensive, defensive.
Tim DeRags will be beating himself up after that mistake. It's all gone wrong for him.
Well, he's still there or thereabouts. He's within 7/10, and when you've got two drivers battling in front of you, that 7/10 will come down real quick.
Absolutely. So these four at single file for the most part, but there's going to be a big straight coming up. Poor exit from E-Bulk. He's not going to get the run that he needed on Boybagum, and he potentially could be falling into the grasps of Tim DeRags behind. Let's see what happens. As we ride on board with him as he heads up the hill, following Boybagum. He sets his personal quickest lap of the race as well. Boybagum trying to stay ahead. The gap is 3/10, 2/10 under brakes. Through the right, left.
Into the left, right.
Oh, opens up!
Oh, he definitely thought about that.
Big show of the nose, and Boybagum calls his bluff.
I think the smart move there from E-Bulk was, yeah, definitely pull out of that one.
Past the church now. Down the back straight. And E-Bulk is going to have slipstream all the way down, but he's falling backwards. He doesn't have the pace advantage on the exit of the church corner there. And he's going to be stricken into the hip, and he's not going to be able to get it done. Hoping for a good back section of track here to hopefully get the move done into the first turn. Let's see what happens. Another poor exit from E-Bulk. He's dropping further and further back into the grasps of Tim DeRags.
Tim DeRags has still got stickers a couple of tenths behind him for company as well, so a little bit dicey through the bugger corner there, but
full commitment from E-Bulk, and he closes up the gap to Boybagum. Needs a crucial exit here. Does he get it? Yes, he does. On the power now, that gap closing up to Boybagum. Is he going to be close enough on this occasion? I don't think so. He's still half a second behind. And Tim DeRags has dropped back a little bit. Still in the clutches of stickers. 3.5 tenths. Are we going to see a late lunge? No, not from E-Bulk. Looking very, very racy. If he gets a good exit here, the gap might open up into the left-right.
Just quietly, Young Wacky has improved on the fastest lap. It's now sitting at a 1:49.198.
I believe that's quicker than the pole time.
On the previous lap.
Is that quicker than the pole time?
That is a very good question.
I'm sure you have a screenshot somewhere.
We are checking. We are checking.
E-Bulk, better exit this time from Church. He's 2 tenths away from Boybagum. Does he throw it down the inside? Oh, Boybagum goes defensive and calls his bluff. Looking for the switchback, doesn't open up for E-Bulk.
Can confirm that is faster than qualifying, but on a much lighter fuel load. So take that into account. Oh, Boybagum very slidey through the bugger corner there.
Under brakes. Into the final braking zone of the lap. As E-Bulk, he looks forward. He sees the rear bumper of Boybagum. He looks in his mirrors and he sees the front bumper of Tim DeRags. He's closer than he was last lap. Can he get close enough to make a move? Let's see. Keeps it in 5th gear. 2.5 tenths. Is he going to be close enough? Round the outside, potentially late under brakes. Boybagum positions the car perfectly.
Yep, there's definitely no shifted into 6th gear fuel saving shenanigans going on this time. It's use all of the RPM.
Shows the nose again. Tries to take a good racing line. Oh, runs a little wide, and he's not going to get the exit he needed there. That opens up the door for Tim Durags, who closes up rapidly. Gets it turned in past the church. Needs a good exit. Looks like he's going to get it. Oh, but Boybegum, brilliant exit there. Still gaining time. Finally, that gap starts to come down with the slipstream.
There's been a
Not going to be close
fantastic
enough to
battle
the hairpin.
between these 3 drivers for the last 15, 20 laps.
I'll tell you what, if Boybegum can hold on to this will be spectacular. But Ebolt, he's not going to let him have it that easily. Putting up a fight till the very last lap. Oh, bad exit from Boybegum, has to go defensive. Ebolt looks to the outside. Can he be late on the brakes? He's going to go around the outside, but Boybegum runs him out of road, holds the lead, and now we have 3 cars within half a second.
Yep, the last couple of laps coming up. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be a spicy one.
The problem now might be that Ebolt is too close, but he's going to be shown the outside line. Can he get it done? He edges into 2nd place. Boybegum, he's not going to give it up. A last-ditch effort to dive down the inside, and Tim Durags is there too. Sweeps the outside. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Ebolt, he's still side by side with Boybegum, but he holds the lead of the race by a couple of hundredths of a second. They're digging doors. They won. Oh my goodness! Look at this. Ebolt is set wide, and now he's on the inside again. He is still holding the lead. They're still side by side. This incredible racing between Boybegum, Tim Durags, and Ebolt. They're 3 wide.
Don't do it, Tim. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Around the outside of Tim Durags. He's sideways. He's drifting. That's a 4-wheel drift on the exit of the church. And now Boybegum somehow holds on to 2nd place in this battle. This is absolutely spectacular.
Breathe.
As Ebolt comes back at him, down towards the hairpin. He's going to be close enough. Pulls alongside. Throws it down the inside. No, he doesn't. Holds off to live another day. We've still got another lap and a half to go.
Oh boy.
Look at this. Incredible racing from these 3. How are they all still facing the right direction? I have no idea. Now Ebolt, he's still within hunting distance of Boybegum. He's got 4 tenths ahead and a 1.5 seconds behind. That's the breathing room he needed to get Tim Durags at bay as they approach the final lap. Just 5.113 kilometers to go for these guys. Doesn't get the best of exits out of that corner, and he's going to drop back almost a second to Boybegum. Is Boybegum going to hold on? That's the big question. Into the first turn.
He's got a comfy gap at this point. As Ebolt very... he's binned it!
Gone.
He has binned it!
Wrong. Finds himself in the wall at turn 1. Let's see what happened here. We'll ride on board with him as he approaches the first turn. Just the fatigue getting to him on the last lap. Eager for that little... Oh, he's lost it before the corner. The rear end just dies and he tries to drift it out and overcorrects. Finds himself in the wall. Unfortunate for Ebolt there, and he drops to 8th place when he eventually gets the car out of the wall. But what that does mean is that young Wakey is going to round the final few corners now, and he's going to take P1 in extraordinary fashion. Nobody even came close. Almost every single lap of this race in the 49s. This is extraordinary race pace. Does he get the fastest lap this time round as well? That's the big question. He's going to get real close, actually.
Yeah, this is going to be suspiciously
close. Oh, is it a 48?
Oh, very, very close, but not quite. Drops a 49.362 final lap. As a Boybegum, he's looking very, very good for a P2 finish in what I'm going to refer to as the meme-mobile.
The meme-mobile.
The meme-mobile, the meme Megane.
What a drive from Boybagum. He had half of France and half of Italy thrown at him, and he manages to hold on to P2. P3 for Tim Durags, P4 for Stickers. Brilliant drive from Stickers to hold on for the P4 there. And Greg.
Very solid effort. Very solid effort from Greg's here for P5.
P6 for Rudzi. Seventh for Grovel there. And E-Bulk, after being in second place or third place at the start of the lap, will have to settle for 8th. P9 will go to Dragon Racer as well. Rainbow Socks will finish in P10. What a race. And I believe that's everyone. So
That
wow,
is indeed everybody. Woof. Got a bit quiet there in the middle stint, not going to lie. But once we got to lap 20, the fuse was lit and it just went off.
Absolutely. So let's have a look at the race results for our pre-season race 2 of season 10. Young Wakey takes P1 with a flawless drive, clean sweeps. It's a, what are they called? A Grand Chelem for Young Wakey here tonight. No, it's a Grand Chelem. It's C-H-E-L-E-M.
S-L-A-M.
Anyways. No, it's not a slam. Well, anyways, Boybagum there in P2. Brilliant drive from him. Tim Durags in 3rd. Stickers holds on to 4th. Greg's with a brilliant drive there to get 5th place. The Tyre driver. Rudzi there in 6th. Grovel 7th. E-Bulk in 8th. We have Dragon Racer in 9th. Rainbow Socks 10th. And Dale, unfortunately, disconnecting from that race early on. So, next question. Who is your driver of the day, Carbon Boy?
Well, it's kind of hard to not give it to Boybagum for that sensational drive holding on to P2. Withstood all of the pressure that was thrown at him. Maybe a little bit of hanging on by the skin of his teeth at some stages, but he still hung on, so I can't not give him my driver of the day nomination.
Who's that, sorry?
Mr. Boybagum.
Yeah, I mean, Boybagum's going to get my honorary mention, but I'm honestly going to give mine to E-Bulk. He drove brilliantly, and he deserved that P2, but unfortunately, that mistake on the last lap sees him down the order. But wow, that was, you could give it to almost 5 cars. I mean, that was just absolutely spectacular racing. You'd love to see it. And as you said, it got a bit quiet in that middle section, that middle stage, but then when we're getting closer and closer to the end, the urgency came in and everybody wanted to throw a move down the inside of everyone else. And, oh, I mean, once again, if this is the tone that these cars are setting for Season 10, we're going to, I mean, let's just prepare for a lot of lost voices. That's all I'm going to say. But thanks for everybody for showing up tonight, both the drivers and everybody in the chat. It's nice to see good numbers in the YouTube chat once again. But yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. I think next week we have our final preseason race. During the week, we will be announcing the drivers for Season 10, the 56 that make the main game. So that's very exciting. That'll be coming in a few days, and the next stream will be, we haven't decided the track yet, but it'll be preseason race 3. So be sure to stay tuned in to the announcements channel to in our Discord to keep tabs on what's happening. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for tonight. Anything else before we sign things off tonight, Carbon Boy?
I'd just like to thank all of the drivers who came along tonight, and also like to thank everyone who jumped in and threw a like and watched the stream tonight. Thank you for making it all worthwhile. nice to have the pleasure of your company, and also thank you for the pleasure of your company, Lenosis. It's been good to get back into the comms box after a well-earned holiday, I would say.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been in the comms box together, Carbon Boy. So that's Lenosis and Carbon Boy signing things off for our Sardegna A pre-season race of Season 10. And we'll catch you all next week, same time, for some more racing action. And if the first 2 pre-season races are enough to go by, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. So we'll catch you guys next week. All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye.